Today's discussion, total quality management. In that one aspect, what is all the quality? What are all the costs involved for the purpose of quality? Quality cost and its types, the examples. For that purpose, our student Nathria is there. Welcome, Nathria. You can start.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Nathria, and I'm here to explain the concept of quality cost, its types, with examples. Now, first, let me start with the definition of what quality cost is. Quality cost is nothing but the cost that is incurred to produce a quality product. Now, having said this, what is the meaning of quality? Quality as in has no proper definition until now, but in general sense, it is understood as quality is nothing but when a product meets the expectations of the customer or when it meets the standards that is set by the customer. Now, moving on further to explain the types of quality cost. There are 4 types of quality cost: prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, and external failure cost. Now, why did I put prevention and appraisal on one side and internal failure and external failure on the other side? When I start explaining all of these costs individually, you will understand why I grouped it. Now, I'll try to explain all of these costs with the help of one single example. Now, suppose that I'm a manufacturing company and my process flow is like I manufacture the soft drink and I pack it a container and then I keep it in my warehouse where it is ready to dispatch, and then I dispatch it to the customer. Now, this is my process flow. Now, during the course of this process, I tend to incur many types of quality cost. Now, before starting to manufacture the soft drink, I design my product and I design the manufacturing process. That is when I incur prevention cost. Prevention cost, as the name itself suggests, that I prevent bad quality products from being produced. That is what is called as the prevention cost. For example, quality cost, quality engineering, quality audit, and review, designing, etc. Now that I've designed all of it and now I'm starting to manufacture the product. And during the course of manufacturing, I monitor the process. I monitor if whatever I've designed previously has happening or not. Now, this is what is called as appraisal cost. I've already designed my manufacturing, but now I appraise the quality of my product again during the course of the process. That is what is called as appraisal cost. For example, inspection cost, packaging inspection, etc. Now, moving on further, when my goods are fully manufactured and now I keep it into a warehouse. Now there I find some poor quality goods or some defects in my goods. For example, cracked bottles or something like that. Now that I incur an internal failure cost. Now, what is called as an internal failure cost? When the failure in the quality of my product has been detected internally, then when I incur internal failure cost. For example, scrap, rework, etc. I incur internal failure cost to set it right. Either I try to set it right or I scrap it. Now, moving on further, now if now that the goods are dispatched to the customer and after 2 days, the customer calls me up and he says that the goods that I have delivered to him is defective. He has found some defective goods. Now, that is what is called as an external failure cost. The failure in the goods have been detected externally from the customer's end. Now, that is where I incur customer support, warranty, guarantee, returns, etc. Now, every time, more than what I incur for prevention, appraisal, and internal failure, the external failure cost will affect my goodwill, the reputation of my firm. This can also be compared to a live example of raising a child. Now, if we are raising, if a child is raised, the parents start teaching the child good moral values, etc. That is what prevention cost is. Now, if the child makes some mistakes, they'll start appraising it, like they'll start telling again that what the moral values are, and they'll start again teaching the child. And internal failure is like the relatives detecting the mistakes in the child. Now, that is also not going to be a very big problem. But when the outside world starts criticizing the child, that is when the reputation of the family gets affected and it has an impact on the reputation of the family. That is what is called as an external failure cost. Now, more than what prevention, appraisal, and internal failure cost, external failure cost will have an impact on the goodwill of the company. Now, having said all of this, now coming back to why I grouped it into 2. First, prevention and appraisal, and then internal failure and external failure. When you have noticed my example, Prevention and appraisal cost, I said that it is the cost of producing a good quality product. I prevent bad quality product from being produced in case of prevention cost. And appraisal cost, I appraise the quality of the goods. So this is what is called as prevention and appraisal. Now this has some similarity in between them. That is, I produce good quality product or I appraise the good quality product. Now this is called as cost of good quality. Now, internal failure and external failure is I've already produced the products which are defective, and for correcting that, I'm incurring some cost. That is what is called as internal failure and external failure cost. Now, that is called as cost of poor quality goods. So, cost of good quality and cost of poor quality is in a layman's approach. Now, if I give it a professional term, that is when it's called as cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance. Now, out of n number of words in English, why did I choose conformance? Confirm when I gave an example for quality, the meaning of quality, I said it is the expectation of the customer or the standards that is set by the customer. When I conform to the standards that is set by the customers, that is when it is called as cost of conformance. I produce good quality product and I conform to the standards that is set by the customers. Now, cost of non-conformance. I don't conform to the quality standard set by the customers, and that is when I incur internal failure and external failure cost. That is what is called as cost of non-conformance. In our study material, we can derive a formula based on this, that is cost of control. All of these prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure are types of control costs. So now this can be told as cost of control is equal to cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. Now, moving on further, I will also would like to give a gist of optimal cost of quality in our study material. So we have all watching television and we have all seen ads. Now, how many of us have watched detergent powder ads? There is a famous dialogue in this says that if the stain in the clothes is good for a good cause, then the stain is also for good. It is the same logic applies to optimal cost of quality also. In case if I incur a lot of cost of control, that is prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure, and I produce a zero defective product, but the benefit that I derive from producing a zero defective product is very much less than the cost that I totally incurred in the cost of control, then what is the use of producing a zero defective product? So now I decide what level of cost of control or cost of quality, my benefit will be higher or at least equal to the cost of my control. So now there is also this prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure model is otherwise called as the PAF model. Prevention, appraisal, and failure model. And there is a 5-step process for this prevention, appraisal, and failure model. The first one is gathering information about the number of failures in the system. First, you will gather the number of failures where you would tend to incur the failures in the system, and you apply assumptions to data to quantity the data. And then you chart the data based on the 4 elements, that is the prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure. Allocate resources to combat the weak spots, and you do this on a regular basis, and you evaluate the performance based on the PAF model to add value addition to the organization. So there are many concept-based theory questions based on how to identify the types of quality cost, which is given in LMR book given by Hariharan sir. And I would also like you all to go through that to get more insights on this cost, this type, the PAF model. And to end with, I thank Hariharan sir for giving me this opportunity, and I thank everyone for listening to me patiently. Thank you.
Excellent flow. Good, Nathira. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to end.